Well, the latest in the It's Not My Money series, we're going to talk about Jack Flaherty. Well, the Dodgers were able to acquire Jack Flaherty at the trade deadline for, well, friend of the show, Teheran, Lorenzo, and Trey Sweeney. And Trey Sweeney, turns out, got to play shortstop in the playoffs for them. Um, and Teheran is one of their top prospects. He's really good. He has big numbers, had some, doing really well for them. But the Dodgers won a World Series, and part of the reason for that is because the Dodgers had Jack Flaherty. It was worth it. I'd do that over and over and over again. Jack was, he was born in Burbank, California, and his birthday was just recently. Um, he's gonna be playing into he's only gonna be 29 this coming season, and he had a really nice year. Let's go right into the numbers. Here we go. Jack Flaherty overall, 13-7 with 3.17 ERA in 28 games started, 162 innings, 194 strikeouts with a WHIP of 1.07. I think that if you were to look at, I'm going to do a quick little splits thing before and after All-Star games. So if we have that in here, pre-All-Star. So he maybe tired out a little bit with some things, but in general, his WHIP went up. That's for sure. If you can see that over here, it was 0.98 before All-Star game, 1.19 after. So there were some changes there, but overall, geez, man, he had a really nice year. This is the type of year that you need from starting pitching. His 162 innings would have led the Dodgers. The Dodgers' leading pitcher in innings pitched was Gavin Stone, 140. I think Glasnow was second, and then Yam was third. All spent, two of those guys missed the end of the year, didn't get to pitch in the playoffs. So a guy like Jack Flaherty definitely brings some things we need. Now, he's had, over the last, I'm going to his career stats here. He started out, with some durability. Then I'm not going to count the 2020 durability. That was 9 starts. Probably made most of his. But then 2021, only 78 innings. 2022, 36 innings. But then 2023, 144, and this year, 162. So he's more durable than most. So he's a guy that you can count on him, and he had a really nice year. You go, well, and he was the best pitcher available and best pitcher acquired during the trade deadline. Maybe Crochet was available, but no one got him. So Jack Flaherty, there is real value in him. And we'll take a look, like we've done with other people, we look at overall their some of their career stats in the postseason. So he's pitched in the postseason 3 times with Baltimore, with St. Louis, Baltimore, and now the Dodgers. In the division series, he pitched against the Padres, and really, that was not the start we were looking for. He wasn't horrid, but he wasn't that good. But then, and then we had the tale of 2 games in the league championship series where, in the first game, I'm going to go game logs on these things, by the way. That'll give us a better view of what he did in the postseason. So this year, game 1 against Padres and game 2, against the Mets. Well, geez Louise, what do you know? Game 1 with some rest in there. You notice there's a 7-day gap there. 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks, no runs. And then you notice there's only 5 days here. He was allegedly sick, and he was under the weather. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But then he's got 7 days off at Dodger Stadium against the Yankees, 5.1 innings, 2 runs. That was on the Stanton home run. But really, we'll take that start. You give me a starter that's going to go 5 innings and gives up 2 runs. I'll take it. And then the horrendous game 4, which I paid a lot of money to be at, not so good. But again, there's that 5-day thing. I think he was a bit gassed, and that's and so he needed those extra days of rest. Maybe the weather's not an excuse for game 4 against the Yankees. I was there. It was a beautiful night. But mixed results. But we don't win this World Series without him doing what he did against the Mets. That helped set the tone. And in game 1 against the Yankees, he kept them in the game. He exited 2-1. So I'll take that. And that was against Garrett Cole. Now, is he an ace? I'm going to say no. Is he a solid major league pitcher? Yeah. Is he a good major league pitcher? I'd say yeah. He is a good major league pitcher. How much is he worth? I don't know. How about 3 years, $60 million? Something like that. Local kid, work with him. He wants to be here too. Hey, I've looked at so many of these free agents, and they're on their Instagrams or in their speeches, they want to be here. They want to be with the Dodgers. So I value that. And I value a guy that can throw 162 innings these days quite a bit. So 3 years, $60 million is not an unreasonable contract. They cannot put a qualifying offer on him, by the way, because they traded for him mid-season. So they could, they could also do, another 1-year contract or something like that, but then they could put the QO on him, or they could negotiate with that. But I think a 3-year is something that makes sense to me. 3 years, $60 million, something like that. I'm not overthinking those numbers, that's for sure. So I do think that a pitcher like Jack Flaherty is definitely somebody that the Dodgers really should be valuing. A guy that just comes in and does the work. If you slot him in 3 or 4 spot in the rotation, I'm assuming, big assumption, that the 1 and 2 are Yamamoto and Glasnow. And then you go, if they re-sign Buehler and Flaherty, that's 3 and 4. I feel good about that. I'd feel really good about that. And then 5 is whoever. Is it Clayton Kershaw? Is it, who knows? Is it Dustin May? Is it Tony Gonsolin? Can't count on any of those pitchers that are coming back. But you can count on a guy like Jack Flaherty. It's a nice story, too. I really like, all that stuff. And there's the emotion of, hey, let's keep all these World Series guys. And I tell you, I was a fan. I was very aware of these things in 1988, and it really stunk when the Dodgers lost Steve Sax to the Yankees. That was awful. That was really put a damper on stuff. So I'd like to keep I'd like, if the Dodgers kept all their free agents, I'd be very happy. And Jack Flaherty is a very important piece. Just the fact that he can throw innings, and he can throw a lot of good innings, is something. I think the one thing that concerns me is the long ball, but I think some of that was just, I don't know, a little bit of getting a little bit tired. That was threw the most innings he has in quite a while. And what was his previous high I'm just quick pull up here. I'm not going to. His previous high, was 196, and that was back in 2019. So getting back on track, building up those innings. He's 29. So I like that. He's still in good shape. And, age-wise. So get him a good contract. And then after that one, he can get more. But it'd be really nice to hold on to a pitcher that is actually, in general, pretty darn healthy. So that's the Jack Flaherty argument in our It's Not My Money series, talking about the 2024-2025 free agents in the offseason. Thank you so much. As always, God bless, and go Dodgers.